Well, she did introduce me, and thank you very much for inviting me here. And it is a pleasure. It is a great pleasure to be here tomorrow morning. And I'm so proud of you to do this walk. You know, I can't even walk around the block. So, 39 miles, I'm figuring that out. You know, I'd be crawling after the next 2 miles. This is something that I love to do, but I hate to do. I love to speak, and I love to talk, but I hate reliving what I've been through. And it kind of leaves me drained afterwards. And anyone that's been through any kind of a traumatic event in their life, doesn't have to be cancer, it can be the death or divorce. It's therapeutic in the beginning to talk about it, and then afterwards, you've talked about it so much, and then someone else, you start bringing yourself down. So when Carol asked me to do this, I hadn't been doing this for a good 6-7 months, but I just love it to death, and I said, yes, I will. And doing that, I thought, well, here I am. I need to do something. I'm going to stand in front of everybody. So I got a hold of my friend Linda, and she has a program, and I went on her program, and I lost weight. And this morning, I realized that when you lose weight, you kind of dress a little bit better. So I went and bought myself a new dress. But I have to tell you, I don't have the legs like these young girls do that can wear shoes and dresses without pantyhose. So I'm thinking that this is a good exercise program for all of you, is to put on pantyhose every day. Because, one, you don't want anybody watching you doing it. You figure out what your facial expressions are while you're putting on pantyhose. So I'm lying on the bed and I'm pedaling in the air. So there's your bicycle, and there's your bicycle workout and everything like that. Of course, you must have to stretch before you put them on, right? Stretch your own body, because you get kicks and you're just moving around, and it's hard, it's hard. So I got my pantyhose on, thank God I didn't put a runner in them. But I just wanted to let you know a little bit about my experience. I don't know if any of you have heard my story before. Like I said, I do like to talk, and if I've seen you in a hallway somewhere, I probably have told you my story. But I was diagnosed in 2010. I was diagnosed on our anniversary, our wedding anniversary. And we were scheduled to go out to dinner right afterwards. And I thought what I was going in for was a consultation. And I ended up having a biopsy done. And so by the time we went to dinner, who can eat, And I can usually eat through anything, but I couldn't eat that day. What happened was, I've been in the medical field for well over 30 years, and I was in ultrasound. I started off doing general ultrasound, OB, and then I got into cardiac. And so when I first felt my lump, I scanned it and self-diagnosed, which is not a good thing to do. And I thought, oh, it's a cyst. But then it just stayed, and it just kept getting a little bit bigger. So I decided, okay, I'm due for my annual physical. So I called the doctor, and I said to her, I'll need a order for get a mammogram before I come in, because don't want to waste time. This business where you find something wrong with you, you go to the doctors, they set up a test. 2 weeks later, you have the test. Then you've got to wait 3 weeks before you get your appointment to get the results of your test. How many have done that 3 weeks and they said, we still haven't got your report in yet, So you go through, it almost can be 2 months before you ever get anything taken care of. And I'd like to think that I wasn't treated any differently than anybody else, but I'm afraid I was. I was treated because I knew the system, I knew the doctors, and I knew the people I worked with. So I got my mammogram. I went right after the mammogram. Right after, when I'm talking about get dressed, go over to your doctor's office. The report was there already that I had a lump. 2 days later, I'm seeing the surgeon who, like I said, thought I was going in for a consultation, ended up having a biopsy. He had the pathologist right there. So yes, I did get preferential treatment, and that is sad. That is really sad for the, I've got one friend right now. She has been going through this process since January, where They've done an ultrasound on her. They've done a mammogram. They feel her breasts are dense. They don't know what is wrong. They've set her up for an MRI. She's not having that until March 17th.
No.
Now, that's sad. It's sad that we're allowing that to happen because you have to have an advocate and you have to have a voice. You have to put your foot down and say, no, I want it done now. If they call you emotional using the word be, then be that. You know, whatever it is, you have to take care of yourself. So when I went in and I had my biopsy, and then 2 weeks later I was having my breast removed. I wished I'd had the other one done, to tell you the truth, because I ended up getting a nice new little one. It is lovely. It's like a big scoop of ice cream. And I went, and the funny thing is when I went to have it done, I had to have a tissue expander. And so what they do is they put a saline packet inside, and every week you have to go and you have to have it injected to stretch the skin. And I remember after the third time, I was going down south to see the family. And I was going by myself, so I was driving, and as soon as I started climbing up the grapevine, I started feeling a vibration. And I thought, what's that? You know? And as I got higher, it started vibrating more. By the time I got to the top, you know the top where everyone's checking their radiators and they're pulling over for the radiators? I had to pull over because I thought I was going to have a blowout. And it wasn't. So then I get ready, it's okay, I stop, it's okay. So I get back in the car and then I finish my trip home. So then I'm coming back now from my family's visit, and I'm going up the hill again, and this time I thought, feels pretty good now that I know what's going on. What's actually going on. So by that time, and then after that, I had my new little breast put in and everything, and then he lifted this one, and he moved everything up and around and stuff, and I thought, wow, this is nice, except now this is the stepchild. This is the ugly stepchild. This is the child that is the cloud of doom that hangs over me. Every 6 months when I have to go for another mammogram. Because every 6 months there's a lump there. And it doesn't change, so we'll leave it alone. Well, why can't I have it taken off? No, you don't want to do that. Well, why not? Because you just don't want to do that. Well, yeah, I do, because this one's pretty, and I want another pretty one. You know what's happening? I lost the weight. You know your breasts are fatty tissue, so this one goes, and this one's just as nice. I don't even wear a proper bra anymore. I have to wear those miracle bras, you know. This one stays. So what I did was, he wanted to put a nipple on. And I was kind of worried of how you would do that. You know, it has to be the same kind of material that the other one's made out of. I'm thinking, well, where do they get that stuff from? Yeah, I know what you're thinking, but I was thinking the tongue. And I thought, you know, if they took a piece of my tongue away, I'll end up not being able to speak very right. And I thought, so he laughed and he said no, and he told me how they do it. And I thought, nah, I'm not going to do it. So I sent away for falsies. You know the lick and stick ones? I was so happy when they came in. You know, my husband's saying, you know, line them up. I mean, if he would have used the leveler. I'm just looking in the mirror thinking, like, where is it going to go, you know? I get that taken care of. And I ended up having to go to a lovely tea, something like this, over at Verkuya Delta. And Stephanie Barugian was there. And I had done my speech and everything. And I wore a white shirt. And I had myself lined up and everything. And then she says to me, can we take a photograph afterwards? And I said, I'd love to. And you know, she's tiny. She's about this tall, you know. So I'm standing next to her and I'm taking the picture and everything. I'm all proud of myself thinking, oh, Stephanie Barugian wanted a picture with me. And when the picture gets posted, my nipple's over here. So I don't wear those anymore. It is lovely to be able to celebrate women. And I appreciate celebrating women. And our breasts are very important to us. Well, our breasts, they attract our mate when we're young. You know? They feed our children. There's something that they can snuggle up to and feel good about. And it's something that we love. We appreciate our breasts, and that's the scariest thought, to feel that you're going to have to lose one or lose them both or even die to it. But the thing is that we have to remember that that's not all who we are. You know, everybody here is more important than a body part. Everybody is more important than a body part. Everybody has to be for themselves, not for someone else. Don't say, I can't go get a mammogram because I've got to babysit, or I have a job, and if I don't work, I won't be able to pay my bills, or I don't have insurance. There's so many wonderful programs out there that can get you in, get you a mammogram. If you can't afford it, they'll pay for it to help you. There's programs like one of the programs that I went under was when I went to go get chemotherapy. And I have a wonderful insurance plan, but they wanted $1,800 up front for my chemo. Well, that's a house payment. Who has that lying around? Not me. I don't. And how are we going to do this? Well, I had a wonderful nurse practitioner at the oncologist that I worked with, and she told me that there's a patient advocate program that will pay for all of your medications according to your needs. You know, and so, yes, it paid for my out-of-pocket expenses. American Cancer Society will provide you with a wig. They'll provide you with travel. They'll provide you with a gas card to go back and forth. They'll provide a driver. There are so many programs out there that will help you, and even your utilities. You know, you have your hot flashes and you're going through chemo and everything like that. The electric company will provide you with a note when you get a note from your doctor, you provide that, for 1,800 kilowatts extra.